Love Crafts and Photography. I'm Jenny, and today we're going to bring you the first of our support base series. In this series of videos, we will show you how to do some DIY projects using different materials from either Dollar Tree, Michael's, Home Depot, or other sources with low-cost base material, making products that will be used as the main support or the main base of our elaborate designs. We will go through some of these different designs, and afterwards we will do further videos in a different series that will use these support bases to make our floral, wedding, event, decors, and designs. Today I'm going to show you how to make some simple DIY projects using very inexpensive Dollar Tree products. With my DIYs, I usually like to do projects that are versatile, meaning that you can use it for many different purposes and you can reuse them, repurpose them, redecorate them. Reuse is my main thing with all my DIY projects. So today's DIY project, I'm going to bring you a series of 4 designs that can be decked up or decked down based on what your needs and necessities are. So with the first project, I bring you a stand bowl, which can be used for many purposes. I will be using it as a floral display where I'm going to put flowers inside on the top and I'm going to put crystals inside. That's one usage I'll use it for. Another usage I'll use it for displaying in the dessert buffet or a candy buffet, and as a holder for either desserts or candies, sweets. Other usage for it is like it's a bowl, so you can use it for anything that you want to hold any food item in, or if you wanted to, another idea I have is to put floral that is a party favor. So I have an idea to put flower pens in it that I create, and it's gonna be like a bouquet, but it's like a floral bouquet. So let's get started and see what materials we need to make this decorative bowl. Okay guys, so what you need for this project, you will need a Dollar Tree bowl, Dollar Tree candle stand. So this is the bowl, this is the candle stand, and you will need your handy dandy tool to glue them together. So I have here epoxy Gorilla Glue, which is really strong, sets in 5 minutes, and it goes on clear once it's glued down. And I also have the E6000. With this E6000, it also glues clear, but it takes a long time to cure. It takes about like 24 hours to 36 hours to cure. So when you first glue it down, it doesn't hold very well because it moves around and stuff. So that's why I really like the epoxy glue more, because that really holds it down after 5 minutes. But with the epoxy glue, it's with both, it's a lot of chemicals and smells. But at the same time, with the epoxy glue, you have to mix the mixture together. So you have to wear gloves, kind of mix it together, and because one is hardener, the other one is the sticky part, so it needs to be one part of each for it to become the epoxy Gorilla Glue, which is really strong material glue. So that's what I will use to glue together these 2 items together. And basically what you will do is you'll take the stand and you make sure you clean it well so you have a nice surface, and then you're gonna glue the bowl on top of the candle holder stand right here, and you would apply glue it over here, and then you will find the center and glue it down. So after you glue it together with the epoxy glue or the E6000, you let it cure and set for about a day or 2. I let mine cure for 1.5 days, and then you'll see that it's very sturdy and it will not come off. And so here's the finished product, that it's all glued together, and you'll still see it'll take some more days to cure as well. But once it's cured, it'll stay like that forever, and it's very sturdy and it holds itself very well, and it won't come apart. So I really like this Gorilla epoxy glue. It does a great job. So that's the first project, and of course later on I'm going to show you how I decorate it and how I decorated it and how I'm using this bowl stand to my own design. So stay tuned. The next project I'm going to show you is a stand, and this I really like the stand because it can be used for multi-purposes. And with this stand, if you were to buy it outside already set up and pre-made stand like this, it would cost you somewhere around $30 to $40 maybe, because it's made of crystal and it's glass. But with the Dollar Tree products I'm going to use, you can make this stand for $3. Yep, $3. You'll be able to make this stand. So I'm going to show you what materials I used and what I'm using the stand for. So later on, I'm going to show you, I'm going to use the stand. I'm going to make, it's going to be a floral holder for a floral bouquet, for a centerpiece, for a table centerpiece. In addition, is also I will use it because I love making products that is multi-usage. So I also use it as a cake stand, as well as a dessert stand, and can even be transformed into like a chandelier, cake centerpiece, cake stand, or centerpiece, floral centerpiece. So definitely a lot of usages with this stand. And so I'm going to get started and showing you what materials we need to make this stand. Let's get started. So for this project, you will need 2 candle holders. So these are the regular candle holders from Dollar Tree. You need 2 of these. And you will also need 1 small plate, also from Dollar Tree. I really love this plate because of the nice design. So when light reflects on it, it feels like it's crystal, but it's really made of glass. And of course, we need our tools to glue together our project. So I have here epoxy Gorilla Glue, which I really love because it sets in 5 minutes, but it's 1 part hardener and 1 part of the sticky glue. So you have to combine it together in a tray and use like a stirring stick to stick it together, to stir it, combine, and then once it's combined, then you can use it right away because it sets within a short period of time. And the sooner you put it onto the material, the harder and stronger is the bond, versus if you waited for a while to set the glue in. Then I also have my E6000 clear flexible paintable glue. With the E6000 glue, I will also use it, but I really enjoy the epoxy glue more because with the E6000 it takes a long time to cure and it becomes sticky over time because it's more movable. So if you needed a project that is more movable and have more room for error, you might want to use the E6000 glue. So those are the tools that we use, and what I did was I apply the glue right here onto the inner circle of the first candle holder, and I used the epoxy glue to do it because I really wanted the 5-minute hold time. So I used that, and then I applied glue on this other one as well, on the ring over here, and then I glued the 2 together. I found the midpoint of both, so you want to try to position it so that it's lip to lip so that you don't have any excess coming off. And then once you glue that together like that, you let it set. You let it set for about a day or so until it's well glued together before you do the next step. So this project is multi-step to do, and so it's like a 2-day project basically. And once it's set, then you can add the epoxy glue all over the rim over here and add in some epoxy glue over here as well, and then combine it together and glue it on top. And you try to find the center and try to glue it on top of there as well. So that's how we made this project. once it's set for a good 1 day to 2 days, so 24 to 48 hours, you basically have a very sturdy bond with the epoxy glue or the E6000 glue, and you have a completed piece that looks like this, and it's very sturdy, and none of the parts will come off of each other because it's well glued together. And as you can tell, we glued it right here and we glued it right here. So this is, you'll see the glue, some parts of the glue, but it doesn't really matter because we cover the mechanisms when we're using this stand. You'll see some of the glue, but it comes clear when it's finished drying all together. It's clear, so it'd be part of the crystal design of the glass. So you get a whole set like this, and you can see it's not going to come apart. It stays glued together. You just need time for it for the glue to cure, and then you're all set. So this is the next one, and I'll show you how I decorate these projects. Stay tuned. Next, I'm going to show you how I made this really elaborate height, about maybe 2 feet, maybe 15 inches, maybe not 2 feet, probably about 15-inch height stand, which will be used as chandelier centerpiece. But this is the base of it, and it can also be used for other purposes as well. Like I said, I love doing DIY projects where I utilize the materials to make different things that can be reused, repositioned to be used in different purposes. So in this one, I already blinged it out as well. You can decide if you don't want to have bling on it. You don't have to put the bling wrap on it, but I wanted some bling, so I put the bling wrap onto the 4 areas to give it some bling. And I also made a piece at the bottom where you can put a light on the bottom to shine in, so you can have some lighted on the bottom and on the top. So I'm going to show you how I made this piece, and I'll go through the materials that I use to put this together. Stay tuned. So let's get started. So what I used to make this huge 15-16 inch stand, which will be used as a centerpiece chandelier stand based. It can also be used to be decorated as a kickstand. Can be also used as a floral arrangement piece. I will show you how to decorate that later on. But let's see what we need material wise to make this stand. First, you will need Dollar Tree 2 of the candle holders. That's these right here. You need 2 of these from Dollar Tree. So 2 candle holders. You need 1 of the margarita bowl from Dollar Tree. Margarita bowl. And this is they have 2 types of margarita bowls. This is the one that has the wider mouth of the opening. There's another one that is less wide. I prefer the wider one because I want to use it to have a good sturdy base for my stand. Next, we also use 1 of the candle plates from Dollar Tree. This is a candle plate. It has the 3 bolt dots on the bottom. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but we're going to use this end as the top so that we can have our bowl sit right on top of the 3 dots, on top of these 3 dots. And then it's going to show you. So this, with the 3 dots, the bowl fits perfectly around there. It doesn't move around. So that's what we want. And so that later on we can put like a light inside to make a shining light. So that is the outcome we're trying to achieve with that. And lastly, you will need 1 of the small Dollar Tree glass plates. Really like this glass plate, as I mentioned in it previously, because I love this little cut that they have. So when light shines on it, it feels like it's crystal, but it's really made of glass. So So one of that glass plate right there I'm gonna use. And then this is optional. It's the bling wrap. I got it from Michael's, but they also sell it at Dollar Tree as well. And you can also buy it online, Amazon, any craft store will sell bling wrap. So this is because I wanted to have some bling. So this is optional if you wanted to have the bling wrap. And of course you need your handy dandy tool to glue it all together. So I used the Gorilla epoxy glue because I love it that it sets in 5 minutes, because with the E6000 it moves around too much. So I noticed that with glass and things like that, I wanted to have an immediate set hold so that it will have a certain set, and then once you wait, you can wait for it to cure for like a day or 2 or 3 days depending. I usually like to have it cured over a period of 2 to 3 days just to make sure that the hole is very sturdy and firm, and that's what I would do with that. So let's get started. So what do? We have to mix together the Gorilla epoxy glue in 50 parts, 50-50. So 1 part of the hardener glue and 1 part of the sticky part glue. You just push it right out into a plate. Use a stick or a popsicle stick or anything like that to mix the mixture together until it's well mixed together. Then you can start using it. And with the epoxy glue, you have to remember that you have to use it right away. So if over like 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, it's gonna harden. So you want to use it right away, and the sooner you use it onto your glass pieces, the faster you have a really strong bond holding. The longer you wait, the bond holding is not as strong. So what we would do is same like the other projects. We're going to apply the Gorilla epoxy glue all around the rim here, as well as apply it on the other side as well in the rim right there, and then we're going to glue both parts together. We're going to find the center alignment and we're going to glue it down together, and then we're going to set this aside and let it stay glued for a good 1 day. So once it has a nice hold, then we'll continue with the second part where we'll take the epoxy glue and we're going to put the glue all around the rim. I'm going to take the glue and put it all around the rim over here, the rim, and we're going to put the epoxy glue there. And once we put the epoxy glue all around the rim, then we're going to add the next piece of it, which is this glass piece. I'm going to stick the bottom here. I'm going to add some glue, epoxy glue around here too, and we'll put it right on top. I'm going to find the center of both and glue it right together on the both. I don't know if you can see it yet. Let's see. Yes. So we're going to glue it and find the center and glue it all together, and then you'll see you have this huge piece of 2 candle holders and a margarita bowl or margarita glass glued together. So that's the main base of our project, and then we're gonna, after that, glue together very well and adheres together. Then we're gonna go to our next step. So once we had the 3 pieces glued together, we turned our piece upside down where we had the margarita glass at the bottom and the 2 stands on top of it. Then we're gonna glue the glass plate on top of the stand. We're gonna put glue around here and we're gonna glue that right on top of that. So that is what we're gonna end up doing, gluing that right on top. So I'm going to find the centerpiece of that and glue it right on top of there. Now that we glued the plate onto the stand, we're going to let it dry and let it adhere for 1 to 2 days so that we get a really good hold. So after we do that, we'll go to our next step. Next, after everything has been glued down and everything's sturdy and the plate has been glued to the stand, I added and I cut the bling wrap and I added around the bling wrap around here to cover up the mechanism of the 2 stands together. I also added some over here which covers the mechanism of this glue to here, added some down here, and added some on the base to just put the whole piece together by having a little bling at each level of the base. So that again is optional, but I just like to have some bling so when light shines on it, it looks really pretty. So that is what we have right now. So stay tuned and we'll go to the next step. Next we have the candle plate that is from Dollar Tree as well, and I just turned it upside down so that the little bulbs are on the top. And now I'm not going to glue anything together. I just want to show you what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put the stand above it so that a light can also be placed here as well, so that it can be used for multi-purpose uses. I can show you with the light sample how it's going to look like. Here I just added a regular light that I got from Dollar Tree, and this one I set the setting on I don't know if you can see it in the video, and multi-light change setting. You have two settings on this candle light. It's battery operated. One is that you can just put as one type of light setting, which is the regular yellow, or the second type is you can change it to a multicolor setting. So with the multicolor setting, it will change color to multicolors. So you can place that right there. And then I'm going to take the whole stand and I'm going to put it right underneath it. So you'll see what I'm talking about when it has the lighted, when it's lighted up. So that's an example of how you can light this up and why I decided not to glue this onto the stand, but instead just have it as a base. So that's one lighting feature. You can use other lights as well. You can use the smaller lights, you can use the submergent lights. That's totally optional if you want to put lighting on your display. And of course, when the lights is off and you see it in the dark, it's more beautiful. But not only that, but this display, we're also going to put some light that shines from the top all the way down as well. So we're going to do that as well. So you can have multi-lights shining up and light shining down. So that's what we're going to do with this chandelier centerpiece. So stay tuned to the next step. This you'll see is I shine a light on the bottom and on the top, but as you see, the light on the bottom here is not very sturdy and strong because the battery is not at full capacity. So you would need to change out the battery, and then you'll see that the light will be the same as the one on the top where it's very strongly, very brightly shining. But I'm going to just show you another idea. If you didn't want to apply the glass onto the top of the stand, you can use something else. You can use plastic. So I'll show you something else, a cool idea when you use a plastic plate instead of the glass plate. So here's another idea that I will do. I bought these also. It comes in a pack of 8 from Dollar Tree, and it's just a plastic 5-inch plate. What I did was I put a hole in the middle so that I want my light to shine through it. I also punch holes all around the edges. Because I wanted to be able to connect my chandelier crystal bead strands onto the little holes. So this is just an example. This size is 5-inch one, but I'm actually, for this centerpiece, I'm going to buy a plate that's 8 inches long, 8 inches in diameter, because I want it to be wider. I want it to come out all the way here, 8 inches, and then have the chandelier come down, those bead strands come down. So you will see it in my next in the next step, how I'm going to add the bead strands onto it and then make the chandelier part of the table floral centerpiece. But I just wanted to show you how I put the hole in there. So I put the hole using the hot tool that I have. It's a burning tool, and I just basically went all around it, and I was able to punch the hole there. Same with here. Once the hot tool gets hot, with the pointy part, you can just poke it, and it easily burns right through. And what I will do with this is that I will add the candle light right onto the bottom, and then on top of here I'm gonna put a foam, and I'm gonna cut a hole through the foam, so then I'll stick the foam on top of this so it covers the whole mechanism. Then we'll put the same type of bling wrap around the foam, so it covers the mechanism. Then I'm going to have the floral piece on top of that. And then of course on the bottom here will be strands of the bling crystal beads. And then you'll see once I put it all together, the finished product. So the very last thing I'm going to show you how to make is this two-piece. I will use it for a cake stand, dessert buffet stand. Basically you use it for anything, but I will use it for like a dessert stand. And why I would say that is because it's 2 parts. I will put my dessert cake on the top right here, and on the bottom I can put like little macaroons, I could put cupcakes, I could put cookies, all surrounding around the rim of it. So I really like this idea. So let's get started and see what materials you'll need to make this unique big cake stand. The plate itself is about 12 inches big, so it's a lot bigger than the other plates that I was showing before, which are about 5-6 inches in size. This one's more like a 11-12 inch plate. So let's get started and I'll show you what materials I used. So for this project you will need a few items from Dollar Tree. First up, you will need the Gorilla epoxy glue. I really like it because it sets in 5 minutes and then it stays on clear, and then you don't have to hold the piece. You just put something heavy on top of the piece that you're gluing together. But with the epoxy, like I mentioned earlier before, you will need to mix together equal parts of the hardener with the glue so that it will set properly. And then you will use a popsicle stick to mix it together, and then you will need a disposable plate, because once you use it, you will have to use it right away, because once it hardens you can't use it anymore. So that's what the epoxy glue. Next, from Dollar Tree, I bought 3 products that you will also love because it's $1 each. So for this elaborate cake stand, which you would, if you were to buy it outside for maybe $15, you can make it yourself for $3. Yep, you heard that right, $3, because you only need 3 items. The first one, you need a margarita glass. I bought the one with the big wide mouth glass because I wanted a good foundation to hold the plate, because it is a big plate. I wanted it to have a wide mouth. So this is a margarita glass. I'll put it aside right there. Next, you will need a candle holder plate. This is a candle holder plate from Dollar Tree, and it has the 3 little bulbs on the bottom, which I really like. It gives it some level and some height. Once you place it on the bottom, it gives you some height on the bottom right there. So this time we're gonna use it right side up instead of the other side. I'm gonna use it right side up so that we can use it also as a serving tray that we have a tray for. Okay, and lastly we need a big plate. This is a glass plate from Dollar Tree. It is about 11 to 12 inches in diameter. I love the cut of it because when light shines to it, as I mentioned before, it shows that it's like a crystal type design, but it is made of glass. So let's get started and how we put this together.
First, we're gonna mix the Gorilla epoxy glue. We're gonna uncap it and make sure that you remember how you capped it so you don't mix the 2 mixers together when you cap it back together. And we're gonna squirt out equal parts of the hardener and equal parts of the sticky part. And then after you squirt it out, then you're gonna pull back on the cap, and it will cause the air pressure to pull it back in again. Then you're gonna cap it back, and then we're gonna mix it together, and we're gonna mix it well with our stirring stick or popsicle stick. Here I have just a regular stick. I'm gonna mix it together until both parts are the same thickness and consistency. So you're gonna mix it well until you feel that you have the same color, consistency, and thickness. Once it's mixed, then we're gonna find where we want to place it. I'm gonna place it at the bottom ring around the glass. So we'll put it all around the ring area. The middle section where the hole is, I'm not going to put any there because it's indented in. So I'm just going to go all around the rim. So you try to be generous with the amount of glue that you apply. I try to put a good amount on it so that you can see that it's all covered in. Now we're going to find the placement of our dish, and this one is really good because it already has the circle in the middle already. So once you find the right placement, you just push it down and hold it down for a couple of seconds. I usually will hold it down for a good 30 seconds and put some pressure on it so that it will have a good grip and stick. And this epoxy Gorilla Glue sticks in after about 5 minutes. It becomes sticky. So now I'm going to put some weight on it. Usually you will want to put a textbook, but I didn't have that, so I'm just putting materials I have around my house, and it's something that's a little heavy, so it's pushed down on it. Next, I'm going to stick together these two candlesticks. This is not for this project, it's for a previous one, but I just want to show you how I glued it together. So I put the epoxy glue around the rim of the candlestick of both. So and with the candlestick, it's not a full 100% equal gluing because there are some dents in it, but with the epoxy glue, what's good about it is that it creates the bondage of the two pieces together, because once you put a good amount of glue on it, it will fill up all those holes in between. So right now I'm just trying to find the correct placement of the two that has the best hold. And then after you find that, you just hold it together for a couple of seconds until you get a good hold. Once I got a good holding of it, I'm going to also put some weights on top as well. Same like how I did with the glass and the candle plate. But this is a little bit harder as I'm showing you because it's a smaller circumference around that I'm gluing the two ends. It's a small circumference, so you have to be very careful with it. And also I'm going to go around it now and put some more of the epoxy glue around the ring edges, the point where the two meet, just to give it some more closure and making sure the whole thing is filled up with glue and it's connecting well together. But again, you have to be very careful with this piece when you're gluing these two types together. But once it's glued in, and after it sets and cures within a day or two, it stays glued forever. So you don't have to worry about that. But just make sure you position it correctly when you do it the first time. And with this Gorilla epoxy, it holds pretty quickly within 5 minutes. So you do have leeway within that 5-minute time to move it around to make sure it's positioned correctly before you put any weights on top. Now I'm going to put some weights on top. Again, usually you want to use a heavy textbook, but I don't have that lying around. So instead I'm going to use the material I have lying around. I'm going to put two heavy materials on top just to hold the placement of this two pieces together.
Then you can wait. You can either wait and to do the next step, or by waiting it means you can either wait a day before you do the second step, or because this is a sturdy hold and it is flat, we can go ahead and do the next step. So I'm just going to do the next step, which is to add the plate on top. So what you will do is you will have the Gorilla Glue and you apply it all around the rim of the glass. So you're going to apply the Gorilla Glue around the rim. So let's see, increase this so you can see. So you're going to apply the Gorilla Glue around the rim of this glass. So once you have the mixture, you apply that all around. Then you're going to find the center of this plate. So the center of the plate is, you'll see it has already the fringe all around here. So when it's set properly into the circle of the glass, you will see it has a perfect fit. So I will also add some epoxy glue all around the rim over here as well, so that it has a good holding. And then I'm going to find the center, and as you see, it stays right in there because it doesn't move. It's exact size as the rim of this margarita glass. So I'm going to glue that down there and hold it down for about 5 minutes until it sets. Once it's set, then you can wait a day or two for it to cure, and then you're all set. That's it. That's all you have to do to put together this cake stand. But with this, like I was saying, I'm going to use it for multi-purposes that I'm using it for. So for a good $3, you can create an elaborate cake dessert stand, 2 parts. The top, you display your nice cake. The bottom, you display either macaroons or cookies or cupcakes, something small they could place all around the rim of it. And the top, even the top, you can, if you don't want to put a big cake there, you can also put like small desserts all around the rim. And if you didn't want, for example, you didn't want to place your dessert right on top of the plate, you can always put a separate plate on top, either of the same size as this tray or a bigger size that can even come out even further out in the rim and on top, and you place the food on top of that. That's even another idea that you can do, which I will show you in the next video, how I'm decorating all these different stands, these 4 that I just showed you how to make, how I'm decorating them, and what I'm using them for. So like I was saying previously earlier, that I really like making DIY projects where it's multi-use, multi-use, multi-purpose, and reusable. So everything I've created is reusable and can be used for multi-purposes and can be destructed, reconstructed, destructed, and reused to make a different project altogether for any of your decor, event, DIY needs. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel. We love getting comments from our subscribers, so definitely give us a comment below. And if you have any questions, concerns, do give us a comment. Also, if you have suggestions for our future videos, do comment on that as well. So till next time, continue to DIY.